and that we have the talent here, we have the history here, and we have the resources here to be a leader in the manufacturing of green energy.
I want to bring to your attention my 2020 vision plan again, and basically we do have a vibrancy center around the very subject that you brought up, and what we need to do is let that be an opportunity for our county, let that be something that we can actually shine in, and we have the technology here, we have the universities here, we have the people right here in our county that know how to do the very thing that you're talking about. But you know what we haven't done? We haven't reached out and asked them for their help. There's people with ideas here every day that go unlistened to. And that's why this new county government needs to be very open, very ready to receive the best of the best ideas. And you know what? If we need to go outside the county to get good ideas, we're going to do that. We're not proud. What we are is we're smart. And if we're smart, we're going to ask for help, and we're going to get it. Thank you. Next question.
Mr. Dolan, it was recently revealed at a county candidates forum that Kiowa County is facing next year a $20 million deficit and an ongoing $23 million deficit, if we call the numbers. My question to you is this. How would you balance the budget if you was elected county executive without cutting essential services to the non-affluent population of the county?
Well, I mentioned two of them already. The charter allows for the combination of current elected office holders into one position, so that on its face is going to create savings. For instance, the recorder, the auditor, and the part of the clerk of courts, that's $38 million that can be combined into one, so there'll be savings there. As it relates to Health and Human Services, kind of mirror what Rick Warner wants to do and what they did in Franklin County, is we are too administrative heavy in the delivery of services. And so by taking some of the optional services, which each have administrative function to it, the homelessness to Healthy Fathers Campaign, Children First Council, you make all into one administrative body. You don't change the services they provide it, but you get rid of what in private sector you'd call the middle management, so that the dollars that you have, which are going to be scarce, are actually going to the needy rather than going to the administration of the needy.
30 seconds, Mr. Voinovich.
You know, in the area of cutting budgets, unfortunately, the $20 or so million you were talking about, it's much higher than that. That budget was based on bad information. I'm a CPA. I've looked at the budget. I've studied it. That's one of the things I'm very good at. That budget needs to be really looked at carefully. But I've got good news for everybody here. We don't need to cut services. We can improve services to the needy in our county. And you know how we can do it? We can take money out of the current operating expenses. I sat with Scott Rourke, who is the head of One Community, a very well-known organization, and he tells me that when we study the information technology and reinvent some of the systems that we have in our county, we can take $200 million out of our budget. Do you think some of that money could go to help people? I sure do.
Mr. Casey.
Okay, we need to cut the budget. So what do? As a business owner, what do? We downsize. We have to downsize. There's no other answer. So what do? How do we downsize and not cut services? Privatization. Privatization is the answer. We have small businessmen and women and people in the county that are able to do these jobs and do it more cost efficient than the government can do it. Privatization is the answer.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, as county executive, you will have a chance to influence regionalization within the county. As has been pointed out, there are some 59 municipalities here. And my question is, what is your position on regionalization in terms of what functions in different cities or other county municipalities can be combined, and should you get influenced, should you get involved in that at all?
We could do an entire show on this one, but 1 minute each, starting with Mr. Voinovich.
Thank you very much for that question. What we need to do is Cuyahoga County is 1.2 or 1.3 million people, okay? And we're the largest county in Ohio. We're the largest county in the region. Our region is 4 million people. You know what? We need to lead. We need to set up our own sort of internal regionalization where we're uniting the 59 municipalities in a way that doesn't take money from Westlake and send it to East Cleveland or vice versa. Basically, what we need to do is help each of those organizations save money and use a shared services approach to insurance, to trucks, to police cars, to whatever it happens to be. That's going to help unite the region. And then, going back to Scott Rourke in my meeting with him, he's got an idea, which and I'm going to steal it from him, but he's going to help me with it. He said that what we can do is we can have a regional IT center. There's 800 different governments in this region. Can you imagine if we put them all under one roof? That's 4 million people. The city of New York is 10 million people. They have one IT center. Why can't this region have it? But you know, before it can happen, we have to develop a culture of trust in this county. We have to make sure that people believe us first. And once we show what we're made of, then and only then will we be able to bring in the rest of the region.
Mr. Dolan?
We are years away from regionalism, as I think your question intended in talking about services, because the Democratic establishment has destroyed trust in the central public government, so you can't go to a community and say, we can do it better. What we can do is use the bully pulpit as a county executive to go after the faceless contracts of government. That is, those contracts that municipalities, school boards, and other taxing entities enter into that we as constituents have no direct response to. Cell phone contracts, salt purchases, backroom supplies, computers. And what you do if you study it is you see that there are 57 different municipalities who enter into 41 different contracts with the exact same vendor. So again, using the bully pulpit, you go out there and undergo contract management, get the 41 contracts to speak the same language, so that when I know that, hey, I have 30 communities that are going out next fall for a cell phone contract, I can get out and have one contract and save the municipality's money. Over the course of time, when you can go to the constituents and say, by sharing contract services, we've saved taxpayers' dollars, only then do I think we can move to the next step, and that is shared services.
Paul Casey.
I think regionalization is a term that is synonymous with centralization. It's my hope that we can maintain our individual identities as individual townships and still run an efficient county government. It's my concern that this new form of government that we're putting into place is just another way to get this regionalization done. I want to be clear in saying that I'm not a proponent for regionalization. I'm against it. I think it will take away representation from our local communities. I think the county councils and the mayors are doing a great job in listening to our communities, and I think regionalization works against that.
Next question.
Yeah, the voters all over the country are all saying the same thing today. Career politicians are out. The title of county executive implies someone that's a CEO of a corporation, the way it's organized, with the council members reporting to the county executive. It is like running a big corporation. My question is to Mr. Dolan, what experience do you have in running a business or a corporation?
Nobody on the panel has any experience in running a $1.4 billion organization with 8,000 employees. I've enjoyed this working with my father and brother and my other brother in several family businesses, one of which I don't really have direct responsibility for, but you probably have a lot of opinions on. The other one, we were involved in the theater business. I also served in the state legislature where I was responsible as the chairman of the House Finance Committee for a $54 billion budget and working with the various entities that are entailed. But what this county needs is leadership. What this county needs right now is somebody who has a mission and a relentless effort to pursue that mission. Somebody who has experience in the government sector to know how to work with the council, to know how to work with the municipalities, somebody who has business experience to know how to run the day-to-day operations of the business, but somebody who can restore people's belief that this is a place where you want to locate and invest in.
Mr. Casey.